let's move on. Now we're going to get into the coping skills. Now these are all prevention. These are things that your child could use in a purple and yellow phase. And theoretically, if this is one of the acceptable choices you give, your child might be able to use this also during the orange phase. Everything that I'm going to share from now on should not be used during the red phase, because I've heard parents say that they tried to say, this poster, take the road to happiness, when a child was in the red phase and they were melting down, and the child said, that's stupid, Mike's ideas are stupid, forget those posters, right? Because they're screaming, they're beyond technique, their only job's to calm down. So whenever I start working with a child, actually for almost any issue, anxiety or depression, academic issues, or anger, this winds up being one of the earliest coping skills to share, because the kids that come to me sort of have lost the idea that they have the ability to direct their lives in positive ways. They've become passive players in life, and the world happens, something goes wrong, and then they feel like I'm just a deer in the headlights and the world happens to me. So that's called having an external locus of control. The world controls me, I don't control myself. So we talk about this in story form. And so whenever I talk to people of all ages, I might draw this simple line with a stick figure on it, and I say, here you are walking the road of your life. Okay, and you're walking along, and then you can see right at that stop sign, the road splits. And you could go up, you could take the road up to the road to happiness, right? Now the road to happiness could also be code for the road to success, the road to self-regulation, the road to calmness. You can insert the appropriate word. So you could take the road to happiness, or if you're not mindful, if you're not careful, you could go crashing down that zigzag road that leads to the road to struggle, the road to anger, failure, sadness. So which road would you choose in a perfect world? Kids always say the road to happiness, the road to success. Okay, well, how do you do that? So we talk about how our lives are filled every day with big and little choices. We have, would you like chocolate or vanilla, right? Paper or plastic. So we all have choices. You're driving and there's a traffic jam. Do I stay in this traffic, or do I try to take a shortcut that may not be a shortcut? What might work? So I'm thinking in that thought bubble, what might happen if I do this? This is anticipating consequences. It's thinking of consequences. Thanks, Dad. And it's stop and think. So right at that point where the road splits, you can see there's this orange spot. We call that decision point. And so this poster has to do with life is a series of decisions. And at that decision point, you have to stop and think. This is obviously hard for people who are impulsive. People with ADHD, especially the hyperactive end of it, have a harder time. That doesn't mean that they can't learn it with a lot of repetition and other cueing. So, but still, we want to put it out there that you have the ability to make these choices. Let's say your sibling is annoying you and your fist is balled up, you're ready to let it fly. You still have a choice right then. Do I hit my sister in the shoulder? Right? The shoulder's right there. I could do it. It would feel so good. But what might happen if I do this? I might lose computers tonight. I might lose all my screens for a week. I don't know. So think, should I do that, or should I walk away and get help? Drop the fist, walk away and get help. Right? Great choice. Right? You have the choice. Your dino brain's taking over. Do you do your dino technique? Right? Do you take those 7-11 breaths and shake it out? That would be the road to happiness. Or do you forget to do that, and do you wind up losing it? So you create this compare contrast, and you start to ask the child, what would you rather do? And the child, and from then on you say, all your caregivers, your teachers, mom or dad, we are going to be watching for all the times that you take the road to happiness and you make those great choices, okay? So right there alone, you're setting it up. Some kids are able to do that freely of their own intention. Some kids, if you are working with a reward system, you can attach stars or rewards to their use of coping skills like this. Anytime we see you take the road to happiness and make a great choice, that could be, a token, a sticker, whatever it is that you use for your reward system. This is still appropriate for people. I've taught this to 25-year-olds. I've taught this to 17, 19-year-olds. So this is essential for life. And you can see I taught this to an older person because I have the more advanced term, self-determination. For younger kids, we'd call it making great choices.